What intrigued you to even get into the mining industry?
I think knowing that I was going to be up here living in the community, working on the permitting side of things, it got to the point that it was pretty stale and toxic for me. And I know I needed a change. So like for my personal health, like the best thing I could do is do something different. And to be involved in at the time it was the Polymet project, I knew that I felt it was being done right and that we were going to mine in a way that was sustainable and great for Minnesota, that I was going to have a significant impact on the community up here. If I want better schools, infrastructure, and opportunities for my kids, get involved.
Please help us welcome Rory and Johnny from New Range Copper Nickel to the face.
Warning, explicit content. This material may not be suitable for children. Listener discretion is advised.
Find a way, gotta be willing to go put in some elbow grease, cause you know nothing that you get in this life comes free.
Hello miners, hello podcast listeners, welcome into Mining Minds, welcome into the Iron Range. We're sitting in Minnesota. I don't know what town we're in actually. Close to Hibbing, close to Virginia,
Hoyt Lakes.
Hoyt Lakes, okay.
We've learned that it's very territorial up here, so you better get this right.
Yeah.
We've got to go to dinner tonight.
Yeah. Well, I'm hanging out with my man Dino Brunson.
What's happening from the New Range Copper Nickel mine site?
Yes, sir. We're getting into that. So I do want to thank New Range. We're sitting here in their nice nickel room, actually, is where we're at, right? In their conference room hanging. Yep. And we get to hang out with Rory Oberhelman.
Oberhelman.
He warned you.
I did, yeah, no,
that's a disclaimer.
Senior project coordinator out here on site. They gave us a tour today. Got a lot of knowledge under his hat. We'll dive into that. But we're also hanging out with, Johnny.
Just sound it out.
I didn't know your first name was Jesus.
Sound it out, Grover.
Johnny Eloranta.
There you go.
Nice. I nailed it.
It was close.
And he's the community relations advisor out here. So thank you guys for having us, man. I got to give a big thank you out to Julian and Kristen and Talia. These guys have helped us out, get out this way.
This is the first day of the trip, and you and I kind of fumbled around last night, but I will say before we start the podcast, what an unbelievable site for all the Nevada miners or miners outside of Minnesota. If you could mirror this 20 or 12 months out of the year and not have snow, you'd probably get all the miners you wanted up here. This is beautiful. So yes, I will say thank you to everybody for having us
involved. Yeah. And we'll walk back, but we're sitting at the New Range Copper Nickel project here. A lot of history here. We sat down, we could probably talk to you guys all day. But I guess, Rory, I'll start with you, man. Give us a little bit of background on who you are, how'd you got into mining, things like that.
Where'd you grow up, man?
Yeah, so I moved around a lot as a kid. My mom and dad met in Minnesota. As we talked earlier, I hope I was conceived in the back of a VW van on the University of Minnesota campus.
I was going to say a football game, tailgater?
Yeah, tailgating maybe. And then the fall of '85, I was conceived. So
great year.
Your dad's a hunter, right?
Yeah. It wasn't during deer season.
No, yeah, I was going to say he was very aware that you were going to be born not in hunting season.
That's right, yeah. So I moved around a lot as a kid, but I mainly grew up in Kentucky, worked in Alaska, and then got a job in Minnesota with the state. I was a mining aide in Hibbing, and that's what got me kind of into the mining industry. Was I was helping with exploration and dealing with the core movement. The state of Minnesota requires a quarter of the drill core from exploration to be housed in the facility. So any geologist, researcher, mining company can come in and take core and sample it, and as long as it's not confidential and under lease. But so my job was to help facilitate that. So
that's cool. So core lab, it's just a huge core lab. Is that what you're telling me?
It was over 3 million feet of drill core
Jesus.
in these storage buildings in Hibbing. Yeah.
Now, to some, It looked just rocks, right?
Yeah, I mean, really, it sucked. Like, you just take a 50-pound thing of core off a shelf, and yeah.
Did you ever open it up and really kind of inspect it and go?
Yeah, but I'm not a geologist, so yeah, same thing. I'm like, oh, it's a rock.
Yeah, you never tasted
That's
it?
a shiny rock, not a shiny rock. That's a green rock, yeah.
Yeah, well, I want to get back into the Alaska because you went from, but you moved around a lot, but you went from Alaska to here.
Yeah, so I worked for 2 years. I was a volunteer in AmeriCorps in Alaska. So I dropped out of college in Kentucky and volunteered for 2 years doing trail and infrastructure projects. And then I got on with the cabin building crew, and we built cabins for in the Tongass National Forest for the Park Service.
Okay.
So when I got done with that, I hooked up with a company that did logging and timber framing. And so I stayed up there and worked, loved it. That was awesome. But I got sick of the rain. So rain's a lot.
So were you a first generation miner?
Yeah, I mean, I guess you can say, well, if you consider us miners, we're still permitters, I guess. But
You know what? I've started to extend that term because at the end of the day, that takes all the people in the Army, right, to kind of get this ball rolling. And we're all miners, so we're all in the muck. We're all you guys are on the front line of this, but we're all doing things to better.
Well, that's a good point, man. I mean, you guys are definitely on the front line. It sounds like a couple years before the project really takes more meat and moves forward, but you guys are here and you're in the industry. You're wanting this project to move forward. So
absolutely, yeah, absolutely.
So what does your role do for New Range? I mean,
well, so I when I was with the state as a mining aide, I went back to school while I was working full time and got my degree in environmental science, and then I got into permitting with the state of Minnesota. So I did a lot of the iron mining permitting and peat permitting for the state of Minnesota, and then after doing that for 4 years, there was a job that came up with Polymet, and I moved over to the mining industry doing environmental compliance. So I'd go out in the field and take the well readings, and then I got to run some drill programs and got involved in projects. And after the merger, I applied for a project coordinator position, and now I get to do the fun stuff.
Well, I mean, just at the start, it sounds like you had, I would say, increasing levels of responsibility to even get to where you're at right now. So you had an opportunity to educate yourself, not only on the project, but even on, mining here in Minnesota.
Oh, absolutely. And I worked with most of the environmental managers across the Iron Range and all the different mines, Taconite operations. I was really fortunate to get to, I was exposed to them and get to work with them. And
is that from the permitting side?
That was from the permitting side. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Right. I mean, typically miners aren't patient, right? I mean, if you're coming in, and I'll say it from the operation side because that's my experience, but right now you're learning to be patient, and you're learning different steps to opening. I would say brownfield mine because there's a footprint here.
Yep.
But it's brand new, for the community.
Yeah, and I guess I want to jump in there too because we've talked about this a lot of times. And again on the operations side, to your point, Dino, a lot of your managers are turning around and letting decisions to be made at the face. Let the miners make the decision. It is like let these communities help make some of their own decisions. Because they are affected, whether it's the boom or the bust of the industries, and they're going to ultimately take care. And we've talked about this a little bit too. We all want to take care of the environment more than the people that don't live here want to take care of their environment. So let us make those decisions.
Well, I mean, we were talking about it earlier. We all fish, we all hunt, we all like to recreate outside. We boat. The outdoors is a major part of our lives. Yeah. We want our kids to experience that too, right? I mean, my daughters and I were just camping all weekend. That's what we live for, is being outdoors up here. I'm not going to screw it up. That's why I'm part of this project.
Well, this project's going to be massive for the green energy movement too, right? I mean, to where it's like this is essential for everybody to continue to do what they do on a daily basis. To where, I mean, and looking at the landscape out there, I didn't even feel like I was on a mine site.
Right.
It just, I can't, I mean, the people that are listening, they'll be able to see the video that in all the content that we got. But man, it's amazing out here to where I can see why you're patient working at this project.
Well, we're sitting on old tailings, right? And it's like this is just a beautiful area. Like it's not what we're used to in Nevada, is what I'll say, right? It's definitely there's beauty in surrounding everywhere that we're at here. Yeah. I like the idea. I'm going to throw it out here. Somebody mentioned the idea of a fishing day out here because the quality of water and the fish and things like that. are second to none. And this is a tailings, right? It's a mining property.
No, absolutely.
Could you have a fishing derby to where people win something?
Oh,
I'll fly back for that.
a job.
Bring you back.
Yeah, there you go. Biggest fish gets a job.
That's what we'll take you ice fishing. We'll go out to the basin. You guys come back, and we'll get you out on the ice.
Yeah, I got to figure out how to dress for that.
Yeah, you don't.
You take two Mexicans from Southern Nevada, and pluck them up here, man. It's going to be funny. Sponsoring this episode and our good business pards, Lee Bear Mining. Whether you're hauling iron ore in Minnesota or digging deep in the deserts of Nevada, Lee Bear's mining trucks, excavators, and dozers are built for performance, efficiency, and longevity in the world's toughest conditions. With cutting-edge technologies, a commitment to sustainability, and world-class customer support, Lee Bear is powering the future of mining safely, reliably, and responsibly. Click the links on the episode notes to find out more, or you can brass in at miningmindsllc.com, and we can connect you with one of their local representatives. So when you need something that's built for the toughest jobs, built for the success of your operations, you need something that's built for mining. Lee Bear Mining.
I got a question about the mining industry in general for you. When you, what intrigued you to even get into the mining industry?
I think knowing that I was going to be up here living in the community, working on the permitting side of things, it got to the point that it was pretty stale and toxic for me. And I know I needed a change. So like for my personal health, like the best thing I could do is do something different. And to be involved at the time it was the Polymet project, I knew that I felt it was being done right and that we were going to mine in a way that was sustainable and great for Minnesota, that I was going to have a significant impact on the community up here. If I want better schools, infrastructure, and opportunities for my kids, get involved. Yeah. So for me, and it pays better in the state too. I mean, the private industry is way better than working as a government employee. But,
well, I will say, it sounds like you wanted to be bigger, part of something bigger.
I want to make a difference.
Yeah.
And I wanted, I didn't feel like I was making a difference. And I was at that time I was probably 32, 33, but I wanted to do something that changed, and I thought this was a big opportunity up here. How many mines do you get to build in your lifetime?
Yeah.
It doesn't happen often.
The experience is amazing, not only to build the mine, but to help build the communities. And you've got 100 years out in front of you, which is phenomenal, to where you're not only thinking about, I can't remember which one you guys made the comment earlier about the forethought that the miners had that worked before us, how they set things up here. You're essentially doing the same thing for the 100 years down the road, which is, it's cool because, I'm sure you didn't plan that, but it just seems like that's the thought process here.
Well,
which is cool.
To be part of a multi-generational mining, you know what I mean? That's something that's not a lot of people get to do. You get 4 or 5, 10, 30 years ahead of you, and that's quote unquote your mine life. But to be able to look out 100 years and say, what I do today is going to ultimately impact the next 100 years, that's awesome.
That's huge. Yeah.
Well, let's walk over and talk to Johnny a little bit. I know you've been patiently waiting. You can jump in and talk too. Don't be scared.
Anytime, yeah. Grover interrupts all the time.
But walk us through a little bit of your history, man. You're a 4th or 5th generation miner?
No. So I graduated from the Tower Sedan High School in 2008. Tower is a community about 20 miles north of site here. They no longer have a high school. It's kind of what's happened with Tower. I think there's a lot of Iron Range towns that have become the same way, where there's been consolidations, there's been anemic growth, people have moved away, and it's kind of sad to see for your community. I went to University of Minnesota, got a degree in environmental science. Then we have a family business, Boulder Busters. Actually, you have all the glacial erratics. You have these big granite boulders that are in people's docks and driveways and in there. So I would help my dad doing that. My dad was a blasting engineer. He worked at one of the taconite facilities for almost 20 years, designing blasts. So coming from a mining family, then I used my degree. I did actually some of the surface and groundwater monitoring for the baseline studies.
I got a question real quick. Environmental engineering, but it sounds like your dad was on the operations side. What did he think about you going into environmental?
Oh, he thinks the environmental is, he's mind to mill optimization, right? He's like that stuff.
He's like, I blow stuff up. Yeah.
Exactly.
You're not going to tell me how much Prill I can use.
Exactly. So no, I did some of the environmental monitoring, and then for the past 6 years, I was working for our member of Congress, Congressman Stauber. He's now chairman of the Energy and Minerals Subcommittee in the U.S. House Committee on Natural Resources. So any federal legislation regarding mining goes through his desk, and he's been a huge champion of permitting reform and just unlocking the critical minerals that we have here domestically and making sure that we're taking away the impediments that that are preventing some of these from coming to market.
Okay. So you've got a unique experience. I haven't met a lot of people that have been on the political side of things. Maybe walk us through what challenges or, because in this political environment that we see, I mean, I haven't seen any tweets about mining or
Right.
not very many anyway.
So, it's interesting. So northern Minnesota, it's the Duluth complex is the largest untapped reserve of copper and nickel in the world. And New Range owns over half the known mineral rights to that deposit. But the fact that we've been in permitting here for 25 years should tell you something.
Right.
Well, at the end of the day, 25 years, I mean, that's a career. It takes that long, and we deal with the same things out west, right? And it's like, we understand that, there's processes that we all have to go through, but it's, are they efficient? And, with the different movements within our government right now, is that helping? Is that hurting? There's a lot of history up here to where I want to capture a little bit of that through you because I think that helps tell the story of the next 100 years that you guys are banking on for this project.
I sure hope so. So the town I'm from, it's Tower Sedan, and Sedan Underground Mine. You guys have to swing by it when you're on your way up to Ely. Next July will be 141 years of mining. 141 years ago is when the first shipment of ore left the Sedan mine. We've been mining continuously in Minnesota ever since. We also have the cleanest water in the whole state exists up here. So I think there's this false choice that we have to choose between clean water and mining because we can absolutely have both. Yeah. And I think you'll find the pride that people have for the area and the pride that they have in mining, it goes deep, and these communities are built on it. They wouldn't exist if it weren't for the deposits that we have.
Well, you were saying that, even taking a step back when it started, there were different groups from Finland, and talk about that a little bit.
Yes, a huge wave of immigrants came to help build and work in these mines. So I'm probably a typical Iron Ranger where I'm 50% Finnish, I'm Norwegian, Scottish, English, but you have all sorts of ethnicities that came here, and they brought their cultural traditions with them, and you'll see that across the Iron Range in the cuisine and in the summer festivals and the different things that happen.
I think it's kind of crazy because there's a correlation. All of it, because I'm assuming back in the day that a lot of the ore that came out of here was shipped to the East Coast, and it helped with building New York City, Philadelphia, and in those areas you've had Chinatown, Little Italy,
Sure.
So you had the segregation, but it sounds like up here it was pretty much the same. Just
there was
10 feet of snow.
I think there was definitely. Culturally, you can look at the history of some of these towns, and the Finns had their own bar, and the Swedes had their own bar, and the Norwegians had their own thing. But overall, you'll see we're coming up on the 4th of July here, and the immense pride of being American, I think, still runs strong today. Oh, yeah. If you look at any Iron Range town and their 4th of July celebration, it's off the hook.
It's not 4th of July, so let's make that clear right now. Yeah. But we were driving up yesterday. It was like, hey, that is the biggest American flag that I've ever seen. Oh, there it is. No, never mind. It was like everywhere. He was like,
and any Iron Ranger who works in mining will tell you that we helped win 2 world wars, right?
100%.
It was the iron that came out of the ground here that built those tanks, that built those planes, that helped the good guys win.
So I find that pretty interesting because we've been gifted quite a few things from a lady from back home, and she just gifted me 2 nails, and one is from 1920 and the other is from 1961. So it's got the year on the head of the nail, but the one from 1920 is like super small, short, and the one from 61 is just almost looks like a railroad spike, but it was a nail, to build houses. And she was correlating it with how much minerals were actually getting pushed out of here over to the East Coast, and what the demand and what the supply was. It was super interesting.
Yeah, how thick they were.
I would say too, just in demand for minerals. So you looked at the iron that came out of the ground here, but now you look at the need for these critical minerals like copper and nickel in the next 25 years, and we're going to need more of those minerals in the next 25 years than we've used in all of human history. Especially when you look at, I don't like to call it the energy transition. You have to call it the energy addition. Because if you're looking at data centers and all these things that we're building that require mass computing and copper and wires and everything, the amount of energy we're going to need is phenomenal. And then what do you transfer that energy on? You put it in copper.
I guess my question is, because I tried dumbing it down for myself quite a bit, is how do we get that message out there in layman's terms? Because I really think it's an educational piece for the general public that what we do, you need. And if without all the stuff that we're mining,
I think we're getting there. I think the work you guys do, different groups, the mining community, I think has to do a better job of speaking up for itself and telling them, what they do. I remember when Senator Tom Bach, he's a longtime legislator up here, he left the legislature and he said, we have forgotten as a society where things come from. Yep. Everyone used to pick rocks on their grandparents' farm, or they used to do this, and they know where egg products come from. But we're to this point in society, whether we're so urbanized or we're so tech centric or something, where we don't realize where these things come from anymore. And we need to get back to that. And part of that's through education. But I think in the last 10 years, we've come a long way in terms of domestic sourcing and critical minerals. And there's a lot of Americans that eyes have opened up in terms of like, oh yeah, we need that. And I don't want it coming from China. I don't want it coming from another place. We can do it here, right? We have the best labor standards in the world. We have the best environmental standards in the world, and we can get it done.
Sponsoring this episode of the podcast, Ram Enterprise Inc., and to talk a little bit more about them is Robin Brown.
At Ram Enterprise, we don't just build, we protect, empower, and innovate. Safety is our promise with over 6 years no lost time. People are our strength, quality is our standard, and smart solutions are what sets us apart. Whether you're on the job site or behind the scenes, you're part of a team that leads with purpose. Ready to take your next step with a company that puts you first? Ram Enterprise, where safety drives us, people inspire us, and solutions define us. Partner with us today at ram-enterprise.com.
Do you think we could produce a movie that was like A Day Without a Mexican, a bit like Day Without Mining, and just see what the ripple effect would be if we just stopped mining for a day and what that would do to the globe? Essentially, somebody's got to do that through AI and really, because we have to have an aha moment to go, we're not the guy with the pick and the axe with the gray beard. But we want guys when they come in to be able to retire from our establishments, make great money, provide for their families, retire, and not have to worry about Social Security and things like that. That's what you guys are providing.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Well, and I was going to add to that. There's a misconception of what mining used to be, and it's not all good, right? There's absolutely things that we could have done better that we've learned from, but I think that's where we're moving this needle to the future is we're saying, hey, look at all the stuff we can do. We can't put unrealistic expectations out there that I think everybody can Google and see what those are. But the reality is we're doing things a lot better here than 90% of the rest of the world is doing. I mean, there's some pockets of good, but we can do it right here. So I think that's the one hurdle that we need to start talking about, if not already pushing that narrative more, in my opinion.
And I would say we do it the best. I say here in northern Minnesota with our skilled workforce, the union labor that you have in these mines, these are the best workers in the world. And we're bringing these products to market.
I will say that's something that we don't see out west. I haven't had any experience personally with the unions, but that's very strong up here to where I'm looking forward to those conversations throughout the week to see how that really impacts not only longevity, but the Iron Range as a whole. I mean, because it sounds like you guys have your own built-in workforce, and when everybody else might be looking for people in their regions, you guys are doing something else way different.
Well, and I think that also speaks to people that we love living here, and you guys are probably going to meet some people that are 5th generation miners, and that's pretty cool. And there's just an insane pride for what we do, and we're out here enjoying the lakes every weekend. We're hunting, we're 4-wheeling. That's why we live here. If we didn't like doing that, we wouldn't live here.
Brag on.
Well, I want to talk about the project you guys are working on a little bit. I mean, I think there's some cool things you guys have going. We spent probably 45 minutes to an hour talking about all this stuff, but maybe you guys can walk us through that a little bit.
Yeah, from your perspective, I mean, what is New Range going to be doing for you and your family, and what do you see it doing for the full community? And then Minnesota.
Well, and where you're at in the process too.
Yeah. So, I mean,
a
I'll
lot.
take it here a second, Johnny. I think the big thing that we're doing is we are diversifying the industry up here, which is needed. And that's something that New Range can bring to the table with the copper nickel mine, the deposits here. We also are taking a brownfield site and we're reusing a significant portion of it for this operation. We're very fortunate that we have the infrastructure we do with the rail, the utilities. We're close to Lake Superior. That's a big thing for the project is you don't have to build that stuff. I mean, it exists.
Infrastructure's in.
Infrastructure's here.
Well, even your current infrastructure on site that you get to reuse, that's kind of cool.
We got a concentrator that last year we gutted and recycled everything out of it. It's a 1/4 mile long. It has a 9-acre roof on it. Like
it's huge.
Yeah. I cannot wait to show the videos and pictures, with this podcast.
It's overwhelming because you look at it and then you think about when it was built and you think about the blood, sweat, and tears that went into something like that. And so that's part of the history as well, is that you get to use something that was used 50, 100 years ago as well,
Well, it was obviously we're going to go back to, the forethought to build it right the first time to where you guys are able to, I wouldn't even say recycle and use it. I mean, you guys got to go in and refresh and build it to what you need it for today, but it's there and you guys aren't tearing things out and building new. It's like, we've got what we need. Let us roll.
So what we're doing is we're cleaning up a legacy site while we're building a new mine.
Yeah.
So regardless, somebody's got to clean this up. You can't leave, we're not going to leave the infrastructure here
and you get to catch fish.
And
you get to see cool deer.
We got to shoot big deer at one point. So right. Like there was
Till you ruin that.
Yeah, till the lawyers ruin that. Right?
The visuals up here, are amazing. I'm going to say it again. I can't even believe that we were on a mine site today. I want to real quick interrupt you because I want you to kind of walk us through the project still, because it is, I know we get sidetracked and we squirrel a lot of times, so you got to keep us in line too.
Yeah, no. So we've been at it, I don't know, it must be close to 20 years when they first started developing the North Met deposit. New Range is a joint venture, 50-50 from Glencore and Teck. That was 2 years ago that the merger happened. It was Polymet before, and now we're New Range. We have went from about 20 staff to 43, and we are currently in a pre-feasibility study when we're evaluating aspects of the project that were permitted in 2018 to make it better, essentially is all it is. I mean, we received permits and then immediately went into litigation, but we've got some stuff we're working on that is better as a whole. We have a great group of experts, and the team here is outstanding. Yeah. We really have a great environment. I think that's what separates us partially from the other areas too, or the other mines, is everybody likes being here. It's not a toxic, shitty workplace.
Well,
it's fun.
I'll tell you, just walking in the office, I was pretty, I'll say inspired. With the colors of the couches and the way that it was set up, it was like, man, it's just got this new, fresh feel, that you don't see on mine sites.
No, yeah, so last year, this was my project to redo a lot of the administrative building, and it was a lot of asbestos, lead. I mean, it's all stuff from the 1950s, right? So you have to either renovate it or demo. There's no other way around it. So we've dumped a significant amount of money into these facilities so that people want to be here.
Yeah. When you have the opportunity to build a culture, and I'm sitting here looking at the wall right now, right? Environmental impact. Supply minerals for a cleaner future. So there's that culture is being bred even when you're having lunch or sitting in a meeting. That's really cool. You guys get to be on the front line of that as well, building that next generation of people that are going to come in to build the next generation.
Well, I think it's neat to, from your facilities on site to the facility that we're sitting in today, you're preserving the history, but it's a new beginning.
Yeah, it's still part of who, Johnny and the locals up here, or myself being here over 12 years now, this is still who we are, and we can still take it and move forward. But let's modernize it a little bit. I like
you also get a dream right now too, right? You get a dream and go, what can this look like? What can we do? How can we do? I think that's a fun part of maybe your guys' jobs right now or your careers right now is like, what does this look like, not just today, but in 50 years from now?
I think that I really, really enjoyed my previous job with Congressman Stauber. But when I look at this opportunity and where we are on the project here, it's an amazing time, because if we're going to lift this thing off the ground here in a very short order, and I think it's going to be a very exciting time on the Iron Range, just looking at what we're doing and what we're bringing to market.
Sponsoring this episode of the podcast, excited to talk to you guys about Heavy Metal Equipment and Rentals. Founded in 2001, Heavy Metal Equipment and Rentals has built its success serving Canada's oil sands with the heavy civil and ultra-class surface mining equipment. Now here locally in the 775 and across mines throughout the United States, HME delivers the right size equipment for your heavy civil and mining applications. Need reliable earth-moving equipment for your next project? These guys have you covered. From massive 800-ton hydraulic mining shovels to 400-ton haul trucks and everything in between, they provide the right gear to ensure your project stays on track with industry-leading equipment. You can find out more about these guys today by clicking the links on the episode notes. That'll drive you over to inquiries@heavymetal.ca, or you can always reach them at miningminesllc.com and visiting our business parts page.
Well, I can imagine being in the communications department. You're out in front of the public quite a bit, right? So what is your main driver? I mean, not for the company, just as a miner.
So I think you'll see that this project has incredible community support in a way that other projects would be envious of across the country. People really support it. They want to work here one day, and it's sad because it's gone on so long. I think because of our permitting timelines and stuff, some people have said, okay, well maybe my kids will work there, or maybe I know that there's people that said, well, if I could get a job there, I'd move home. They live down in the Twin Cities, but they'd come back, and I feel like it's going to be it's going to be much more than a shot in the arm in terms of economically for people to come back and have a good place to work.
I got a weird question, but how do people outside of this region, or people even in this region, they're hearing this podcast, how would they support that? Like, do they call their congressman? Do they, I'm just unfamiliar with.
Say, like, how do you voice your
advocate?
support for
Yeah,
the
how do you
project?
advocate for that?
I think you're going to see us as we go back into permitting, and there'll be some public comment. There'll be stuff like that. I can't say right now how you could quantitatively maybe support it.
That's
but,
fair.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's just educating yourself about the industry and where these minerals come from, and best practices and standards. And this project is all those things. This is the best.
Get
project.
involved.
Well, just understanding what we're doing. I mean, and that's an industry as a whole kind of thing. But up here specifically, I thought it was pretty cool that you made mention that there's people already saying, well, maybe my kids will work there.
Sure.
To where, I mean, that's just a thought process in people's minds in this region that you don't see, in Arizona or Nevada much.
Well, and that's where how many places in the country do you have 5th generation miners that have been doing this for a long, it's what they do. And I think, we don't want to be told, oh, go work in this industry, or go work in the tourism industry, or go do this. It's like, we mine. That's what we do here. And we're very proud of that. And we want to continue that.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think it's a talking with a number of people around here, right? A huge misconception of what's going on, and hopefully this helps get that out there and spread some knowledge around it. I'll tell you guys right now, I'm going to echo it again. Very cool facility. You guys have an awesome project going on here, and again, looking at your plan of operations or the potential plan of operations, I'm excited for you guys. I think it's absolutely silly that we're 25 years into this. You guys ain't running hard and fast right now. Like, that's just my 2 cents.
Are you guys accepting applications from people outside of Minnesota?
Absolutely.
Because I guarantee we're gonna have people asking us like, "Hey, are they hiring?"
Yeah.
Not only that, so one of the last questions I was going to ask, because I know we can't go forever on this one, so sorry, is what about the next generation coming up? I mean, advocating for those kids. Are you guys involved with the kids at school? I know you said some high schools and stuff shut down. What does that look like for you guys here locally?
Yeah, so we are heavily involved. We try to be heavily involved in the local communities in certain aspects. We Johnny can touch on it a little more, but we are involved. There's a Minnesota Minerals Education Workshop, and that's where there are volunteers from up here that are helping teach the teachers how to communicate mining out to the school kids, which is important. We sponsor and spend significant time down at the state high school hockey tournament where the Minnesota Wild play. and we get a lot of exposure to young kids in that area. There's a lot of people that don't understand that mining even exists in Minnesota.
Yes.
That is
So
so crazy to me.
you know,
I'd say that we're doing a better job of letting people know what you can do in mining. You can work for a mine and do a lot of different things, from the environmental to operations, to, blasting, drilling, all this sort of stuff. And I think locally there's been a big push, whether it's that 4-year degree or whether it's the trades, there's a lot of good opportunities regardless of which path you want to go. So I think at least locally, people have been hitting that hard, and there's that understanding of like, whatever you want to do, we'll have a spot for you.
Well, we talked about that on a previous podcast. It was find a job that you can't do in mining. And I was trying to be a smart ass. I said, hey, you can't be a veterinarian. Well, out in Nevada, you absolutely can, because we have ranches and different things so it's hard to find a job that you can't do in mining.
But I think it's the perception too, and it's that modern day mining, this 21st century mining. I remember I was in 6th grade, and it was in Tower. The social studies book had a picture of an open pit mine, and I remember it just put it in a very negative light. And my dad saw it, and he was just furious.
Sure.
What you're learning? This is garbage, right? You're just putting it in this negative light, and we need to shift away from that. And we need these minerals.
Yeah.
So do you just want to poison everyone against it?
So I'm gonna. My last question is: so, what does the future miner look like to you?
Looks like anybody. I mean, anybody can do it. It's. Do you want to be part of this next? I think we're going to have I would almost call it an economic revolution on the Iron Range if some of these get up and going. I think what it's going to do to the economy can't be understated. So we're going to need everybody.
Yeah, that's a great message. I mean, anybody and everybody.
Yep.
I know. I want to thank you guys for having us, man. I do have one more thing, and it's maybe we can get together and collaborate. I mean, there's ideas and stuff going on there. You guys have ideas and stuff going on here. Dino mentions this quite a bit. It's sometimes we're shooting this elephant with BB guns, and if we all focused in the same light, maybe we have an opportunity to actually move the needle instead of all of us kind of running around on fire all the time.
I do think you guys are doing the right thing, because on the elephant analogy, how do you eat an elephant? It's one bite at a time, and you guys have taken the first step of making this podcast, representing the industry, putting your best foot forward. So I think you guys are doing the right thing.
Well, we appreciate that, man. We appreciate the tour. We can't thank you guys enough. It's been cool. And then I guess lastly, best place to eat, best place for a beer. Any recommendations?
The Vermilion Club in Tower, Minnesota.
Vermilion.
I was going to say Vise, but
I was going to stop by the Hells Angels tonight and see what they were up to, but
all right, guys, check us out.
You make somebody in Ely take you out on the boat with a cold cooler of beer, and that's what you.
yeah, you don't need no bar.
That's my kind of my.
That's where you're going
forte
next.
anyway.
So,
Yeah. Oh, really?
Cold beer on the lake. That's what you need.
Sounds horrible. All right, guys, check us out. MiningMindsLLC.com, Facebook, Instagram, X, MySpace. Adios.
Peace.
Thanks for listening in, everybody. That will do it for this episode. Got to thank New Range again. Rory and Johnny were great hosts. Great opportunity for our first episode up in Minnesota.
Yeah, good dudes, man. I mean, salt of the earth. These guys are guys that have lived in the area. I mean, they live, breathe, and eat mining, to where even touring the mine and seeing what's out in front of them, what they're waiting for. I mean, they're a pretty patient group. I mean, they've been sitting for close to 19 years waiting for a permit, and that next permit's going to give them 25 years of mine life, but the one after that is going to give them 100 years. And to just hear that, out on their leach ponds, they've got fish that they can eat. There's deer, it was like we were not even sitting on a mine site. So very grateful for those guys to show us around, bring us in like we were family, and have the raw discussion with us around, mining in Minnesota. I mean, that was our first take at and first look at a mine in Minnesota, and it was unbelievable.
I would agree. The other thing I would say is I was surprised on how difficult it is to get anything across the board out there. Those guys are fighting for every inch that they can get, and they have the resources available to them. If you go up and look at their project, it doesn't even look like a mine was there. They've done a good job of reclamating a lot of that, and I think it's proof that we can do it there. We've said it on the podcast. But good on these guys for continuing to push. Super appreciative at the knowledge that these guys had and them showing us around. and the information that they provided us, because it opened my eyes up to a lot of different things.
Oh, they're just true professionals, man. I mean, that was the story for us to be up there in Minnesota. Is not just the management groups are very aware of, you know, anything and everything going on. It trickles down into the actual town. People understand what they do, why they do it, and I think that's why you have fifth generation miners up there. It's a world class range of mining for sure.
Absolutely. Again, you guys can always join us on all the social medias. Brass in, give us your 2 cents. Thank you again to New Range Copper Nickel. And if you're out there pounding roads, driving drifts, or pushing throughput, stay safe.
Yeah. I woke up feeling good today. I ain't letting anything mess up my mood, no way. I got that feeling everything is gonna be okay. Cause I'm in the driver's seat and I control my fate. I ain't no victim of my circumstance. It's up to me to figure out how I'ma play my hand. And I'ma handle what I have to, that's the way I am. You can't be running from your problems, this I understand. So I be vibing in the zone in. I'm living in the moment. I'm following my heart, make sure I listen to the omens. Today I'm feeling blessed, no I'm no longer feeling hopeless. I'm grateful and I'm focused, and yes I'ma keep it going. I got that feeling in my chest, and I feel it in my bones, and I feel it in my heart. Yes, I feel it in my soul, and I'm feeling so good. Yes, the vibe is going on. I'll make sure that I keep it going strong. Cause I've been feeling good today in a major way. I got a feeling everything is gonna be okay. All the stress and the pain, I let it fade away. Like I'm walking on the clouds with the birds and planes. I'm in a G-O-O-D, M-O-O-D. I'm feeling good, baby. I'm in a G-O-O-D, M-O-O-D. I'm feeling good, baby. Everywhere I walk, I got a little extra pep. I'm enjoying life with every single little step. With a smile up on my face, grateful for every breath. I'm grateful just to be alive, oh yes, I'm feeling blessed. They say your attitude will determine your altitude. Today my spirit's so uplifted like I'm on the moon. And it don't matter if somebody's coming at me rude. It can't affect me cause my heart is filled with gratitude. There ain't a thing they could say, ain't a thing they could do. I keep doing my thing, they can't mess with my mood. I keep my head up, but yes, I stay on the move. Today I got my confidence, I'm feeling so smooth. Got that feeling in my chest, and I feel it in my bones, and I feel it in my heart. Yes, I feel it in my soul, and I'm feeling so good. Yes, the vibe is going on. I'll make sure that I keep it going strong. Cause I've been feeling good today in a major way. I got a feeling everything is gonna be okay. All the stress and the pain, I let it fade away. Like I'm walking on the clouds with the birds and planes. I'm in a G-O-O-D, M-O-O-D. I'm feeling good, baby. I'm in a G-O-O-D, M-O-O-D. I'm feeling good, baby. Cool as the breeze, smooth as could be. Groove in the beat, I'm just doing my thing. I feel the good vibes, enjoy the good times. Spread that love, we all wanna live a good life. Enjoy the sunshine, baby, cause it shines bright. And keep it positive, that's how you get your mind right. See, feeling good, this is exactly what it looks like. There ain't no doubt in my mind, I'm gonna fly high. Cause everything I do it to the best of my ability. I give it everything I got, increase my possibilities. You get what you put out, so I'ma keep the positivity. You give the world my love, this song is a special delivery. I feel it in my chest, and I feel it in my bones, and I feel it in my heart. Yes, I feel it in my soul, and I'm feeling so good. Yes, the vibe is going on. I'll make sure that I keep it going strong. Cause I've been feeling good today in a major way. I got a feeling everything is gonna be okay. All the stress and the pain, I let it fade away. Like I'm walking on the clouds with the birds and planes. I'm in a G-O-O-D, M-O-O-D. I'm feeling good, baby. I'm in a G-O-O-D, M-O-O-D. I'm feeling good, baby.